everybody, we are back live in Anchorage here at the Anchorage PFD Bicameral Group today. They are with us. Huge showing. The Lawbreaking legislators inside decided to call it a very, very short meeting. They had it less than 2 hours to discuss the future of the PFD. Their idea of protecting our PFD was to take it. Spend it on themselves, cap the dollar amount that they want to give us, and say, you suckers, this is what you get because we can't control our spending. Every model that they showed us today showed their budget growing. But not once did they show a single model of them reducing the budget to match what their revenues coming in is. Welcome, come on down and join us. We'll be here from 2 o'clock today. We're at the Anchorage LIO, 1500 West Benson Boulevard. Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
You know, if you think about it, the average family of four lost over $5,000.
You want to be on? You want to be on camera?
Sure. The average family of four lost over $5,000 in taxes, and yet the budget cut after Dunleavy.
Yeah, the sunlight there.
After Dunleavy gave everything back, or as much back as he did, was less than a 6% cut. So for less than 6%, disproportionately, a family of four had to pay $5,000.
So basically, we've just lost our $5,000 for a family of four because of the cuts that they've done to us here.
There's a 6% or less cuts to the budget. It's ridiculous. So how do we solve that? We solve that by people coming down and getting active with their legislature, coming down and demanding that we be heard. Right now, we're the path of least resistance. They think they can do whatever we want because, I mean, shoot, this is a good turnout, but we need thousands of people down here right now. You know, we need to fix the government. We need to fix their idea of what they should do for us. They work for us. We need to demand that they do what we want them to do.
And they clearly have forgotten they work for us.
They clearly have forgotten.
60 people making the decisions for 700,000 plus of us right now.
Amen to that.
And the only ones they care to listen to is themselves and the special interest they're giving that budget to.
That's correct. Yep.
Really, really sad.
It's a shame that they already broke because they knew we were going to be here. So if 50 people can cause them to end their meeting early, think of what 1,000 people could do, or 2,000 people standing in this parking lot. They need to hear us.
We need to start making that happen. More people need to get involved.
Absolutely, and it's not just the PFD. The PFD is just a battle. This is a war for our state. We need to take control of our legislature. They need to understand that they work for us. This is just a battle in a bigger war that we need to be engaged in. We need to get engaged in government reform. We need to. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. So come on down, folks, down to the Anchorage LIO office. We got all of our supporters here around in different areas. We are happy to see everybody that is here. We've got lots of different signs out here. We got Save the PFD. Hands off our PFD.
Almost all the legislators.
Nearly all the legislators that support the PFD are on there.
Here, have a Krabby Patty, man. Keep it
Oh.
Check out my shirt. Check out that.
Nice. So we were down here with the Save the PFD group. They just got done with their bicameral meetings. You too? Stop the raid. They definitely got it. Exactly. Keep your hands off our PFD. Good evening. How you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Thank you for all your time and effort you put in.
Hey, absolutely no problem. Anybody want to go on record? Talk to the people out there.
Talk to the people out there.
Talk to the people out there. Yes.
Where are the legislators? They're dying. Shelley just came out.
The legislators?
Shelley just came out.
Most of the legislators went and hid and disappeared.
Over there and
We're gonna
grab
go
Shelley
talk to
first,
Shelley.
and then I'll go on record for you.
Shelley definitely loves to be in that.
Great. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I appreciate it.
We're just like protesting. We're like protesting in a party.
The group out here, supporters are getting larger and larger by the second.
Is there any hope for this session to finish this daily? We're going to get anywhere today?
Laura and Elvin came this way and talked to us for a little while, and I think
2020.
Stedman was talking to Juanita for about 2 seconds, and that's it. So. They're done.
More people.
No.
I saw her in the building. I saw her.
That's a bummer.
Hey, did you just film me and saying that?
I just filmed everything.
Please do not put that one out. Okay. So I basically, some of you might be upset, but in there I basically said I was going to come off my horse, the historic PFD, and was willing to go to a 50-50, trying to see if anybody from the other side would. Nobody did. So we'll see. Somebody has to do that.
Don't go too fast.
So I'll be the sacrificial lamb at this point. So you may see that on the reporter if they'll write up anything about it. But I felt like we have to start, getting into a practical solution here, because this is absolutely ridiculous.
That's why he's got the cane.
And fair and reasonable. And I actually am supposed to be at the Alaska Criminal Justice Commission. So I appreciate where you guys, and I mentioned you in my comments too, the PFD defenders. So, who are you?
With Channel 11 News.
Oh,
Next one.
okay. Hey there. How you doing? Hi.
Everybody crowd in.
So I've got another meeting to go to. And, so do you want me to make a quick comment, or are you just picking up?
I can ask a quick question if you have a second.
I'm so
I like
jealous.
the
We're brothers. Brothers from another mother.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got crab the other day, and I didn't. So.
I'm coming over to the left.
Yeah, there you go. Boy, that was incredible.
Compromise. And what it's
That was
going to take for
incredible.
us to get to that for the state. I don't know if you want to kind of
Yes, I
reiterate
had
what
dinner
you're
with
thinking here. You said I have to come, down off my high horse. I hope other people will do the same. What did you mean by that?
I meant that we've got two camps that are entrenched and haven't been willing to move. And I have represented
Oh,
the
it's crazy.
historical
Well, I
PFD
stepped
trying
out of
to
my
hold back.
business
And then we
and
have
said,
some
read it.
that probably wouldn't say that in public.
Incredible. Stuck in there, and I didn't know when I would turn, and my feet worn out. I fell right directly beside me.
But people in the field stuff. And
Yeah, right there.
we've been wrapped around
So I
on
had to
this
go.
issue.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Nobody.
And this merry-go-round is not going to stop until we solve this and settle it. And so I believe a constitutional amendment is very important. And I also believe they brought up the idea of we would have a seismic event at some point, a horrible earthquake, oil prices could plummet, the world demand could change. And it's like this, all these things that could happen. But I believe Alaskans have put heads on their shoulders, and if something like that could happen, this isn't what we need to do. But I think anything less than 50-50, I don't feel 50% for the government, 50% for the people, is not going to be upheld. I believe the governor would veto anything. I can't speak what he would do, but I could guess he would veto it. And I think that the people, if that were to happen, they'd be overturned. So let's do something that's practical, that people will support, and do something that goes down the road where we make justice. I think that it's time to settle the issue. Move on. There's K-12 education. Our children right now, we've got a problem. We can't seem to focus on that because we're so tied up with the PFD issue. So I don't know if there's the political will to do it. If there's not, we may need to go through another election cycle until there is. But I put out a kind of a test essay on Facebook on Thursday and talking about how a smaller draw actually does make sense. The historic draw, as much as I was promoting that, when you do the math, it erodes the growth of the fund. The historic draw is too large now. And the reason it worked in the past is because the portion that's always been allowable for the state government to use for many, many years, for decades, it was folded back into the fund. Now that amount that has been, by our Constitution and by law, been available for the state budget now is being used. And so you're not folding it back in, and therefore if you're going to erode the draw and take that large of a pull from the fund. So it does make sense to shrink it. So if you shrink the draw, then how are you going to split it? And I think the people of Alaska, as long as it's fair and stable, 50-50, I think the people would get on board with that. And so I'm willing to take that step. The other thing very fascinating, on that smaller draw, when Governor Walker was serving, he took that draw and said 65% for the government, 35% for the people.
Vote the rhinos out.
Realized when Governor Dunleavy came in and proposed his budget, he honored and respected that smaller draw, but he applied the historical formula, and that became 65% for the people and 35% for the government. So what I am proposing is if the smaller draw is healthier, but let's put it at 50-50. Let's go back to the original 50-50 concept that the PFD framers established in the first place, based on the principles that we would be watchdogs, and that a PFD dollar spent in the private sector is multiplies to a much greater degree than a PFD dollar given to the government. Also, the fact that there's some really good principles. Oh, the fact that we only have 1% of land in Alaska available for private individual ownership. The fact that, by shareholders, we all get to share in an equitable way, because every dollar that goes into a state budget is going to special interest. There's no way around it, whether it's someone that's getting public assistance to an avid fisherman who's getting services for fishing game, or a wealthy contractor. Dollars in the budget go to special interest. So when the framers were looking, they were like, how can we make sure everyone gets equitable? So all those principles will hold if we do the 50-50 with the smaller draw. If you do anything else, you're gonna erode those principles as well as the growth. So
you said you want to get this taken care of, so you can move on to working on other things. So when do you see that happening?
Well, we'll see if anybody else comes off their high horse on the other group, and we might get to see some movement if that happens. If no one else is willing to step out, then we'll see what happens. And talking to these people here, the permanent fund defenders, they've been very supportive of the historic fund, and I've waved the flag for that because I think that is an important stake to have in the ground. But I'm willing to work on something which I believe makes sense to keep the growth on the upward trend, and that's fair, and that's a 50-50 split.
Are you getting some backlash?
A little bit, but yes, but I'm willing to take a stand for that because I think we have important issues that we need to address, and what we're doing right now is important.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys.
Hey, let's get a big hand to show you who's helping us.
Shelley! And Laddie Shaw. And Laddie Shaw. Laddie's here.
Would you like to say anything?
No, I'm good.
Laddie Shaw.
She's much better at speaking than I am.
Oh, we're glad to see you.
Nice to meet you. Well, everybody got to stand up for what they believe in. Absolutely. It's starting to get cold enough. We got to wear our winter hats on.
Come on down if you're on your lunch hour. Come join us down here at the Anchorage LIO office, 1500 West Benson. Show your support for a statutory PFD.
Thank you.
I am amazed at how many people have been able to show up here on a Monday, a work day, during their lunch hour to show support for Alaska and Alaskans, for the historic statutory PFD. Stop the theft. Thou shalt not steal. I love that. Cut the budget, not the PFD. Full PFD now. Fight for your PFD. I agree with that sign 100%. We should be seeing thousands and thousands of Alaskans showing up on a daily basis when these things happen. Hell, we should be showing up on a daily basis anyways, fighting for our PFD rights. Come on, folks. Anything you want to say, come talk.
Fire Diesel the Weasel.
Fire Giesel the Weasel, yes. Gary Cott. Recall Cadet.
Make sure you vote and let everyone know you're unhappy with the nonsense happening in June. That's right.
Yes, voting is about one of our last resources we have available, because they certainly don't listen to our voices.
I've got a question. I want to know how many of the senators and legislatures people have businesses where they have employees, and how many of them let their employees vote for a raise for themselves?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
That's a good point.
Those people work for us, and yet they're voting themselves a raise. If they have any businesses and they let their employees vote for their own raises, then I must accept it. But if they don't, then why are they stealing from us?
So how many of you actually got to listen to their PFD discussions today inside?
Cowards ran away.
Are we allowed in there?
Yes, I was in there filming. I filmed the whole thing, so you can actually catch it live, the entire event, or later on today if you want.
I just have a question. Why are we always the one that's giving? Do they give up anything? No. Do they say cut their wages, or
Are they still stealing, or what is the result?
They had 6 different models up there today. Each one of them did not show any significant changes other than government growth. They started out with what the current budget is at right now. They showed what it would be up to 2028 in their different models. They showed the inflation proofing of government only, of what it would be starting out at, let's say, our $4.5 billion right now, and moving it all the way up to somewhere closer to $6 billion by 2028. They did not show any reductions in the budgets in any of their models. They want to show the budget as is, doing nothing but growing, to justify why they need to steal more of the PFD. If they continue on the route that they're going right now, by 2024, their CBR will be wiped out, and they will increase their draw on their earnings reserve account to be able to fund their own the government that we have. Nothing there helped us. It was the worst.
Bert, one of the things that I am extremely distressed about is that they're not allowing the citizens of Alaska to have even a vote on this, an advisory vote. And it's been consistent that the citizens have been asking for an advisory vote on this, and they say, oh no, all of my constituents are saying that they are in support of them taking a portion of the PFD. I've heard that on the floor over and over and over again, and these people, whether it's Harriet Drummond or any of these people are making these statements on the floor, if they really truly believe that, then bring it to the people and let us make an advisory vote on it, and then we'll live with it. I would live with an advisory vote if the citizens of Alaska want to give a portion of their PFD to the government. I would live with that, but let's bring it to the people. Let's let them make this vote.
Exactly. Give us a vote like they did during Tony Knowles' term in 1999, when Alaskans, with heavy opposition from the Yes campaign, telling us to allow them to take the PFD, Alaskans stepped forward in 1999 and voted 86% against the theft.
And that's exactly the reason why they don't do it, because they know the outcome. They know the outcome. And so when they say that they're a representative of the people, they're a representative of special interests. That's who they're a representative of. And that's the reason why they're taking the permanent fund dividend. And for them to take a permanent fund dividend from a child who doesn't even have a vote, they ought to, how unconscionable that is. I remember the Tea Party. I wasn't there. I'm not that old. the Boston Tea Party was taxation without representation, and our children have no representation whatsoever. So for them to take and put 50% of the tax of the special interest on the children of Alaska is, I don't know how these people can sleep at night, taking that money and stealing it.
Agreed.
Did they brought up to cutting the per diem rates down?
No, they brought up nothing about reducing government whatsoever.
If I had been in there, I would have asked them.
The entire discussion was 100% about how much they are willing to take from the permanent fund dividend over the long run.
Reduce the PFD.
Do we work for them?
No! They work for us.
Right.
Reduce the per diem.
I have a question. What's the possibility of somebody putting a bill in that the legislature cannot vote their own per diem?
No idea. It's always been within the legislative control. The best that we could do is put in an initiative forward to have voted on by the people as a ballot measure.
Yeah. Okay.
And same with the theft that they're doing right now. We could actually, as a group of citizens, put forth a ballot measure to force them to allow us to have the vote on the PFD on what the constitutional future would be.
No, are they going back in there at 2 o'clock?
They are done. They are completely done.
So they got the $300 and they go home. Okay.
There's no way we are live on Facebook. Oops.
Live on Facebook?
We are live on Facebook.
I'm a very private person. I prefer not to.
Statutory PFD. Stop the theft. That's what we are after here. The only thing that has put our permanent fund dividend in jeopardy is government spending it. The government was never supposed to be spending our permanent fund dividend. Little known fact, the CBR, the Constitutional Budget Reserve, was set up in 1991. That was supposed to be our government's version of their PFD. Look what they did with that. In 2014, there was $19 billion sitting in that account. Ex-Governor Parnell, in his parting days in his last budget, decided to take $3+ billion of that and slid it over into the Peers and Tears Pension Fund, leaving what started Walker's reign somewhere around $15 to $16 billion. Wherever you see somebody out there say, where did the $14 billion go? That's why we're wondering, where did the $14 billion go? In the same amount of time during that 4-year reign, they have taken roughly around $4 to $6 billion from each and every Alaskan out there to cover their government wages. To keep the special interests actively well-funded, making their 6-figure salaries while the rest of Alaskans suffer. How many of you would have been able to buy snow tires this year if they had the other half of their PFD? Put fuel oil into their tanks. Been able to buy their winter's worth of firewood.
Or maybe even go on a vacation.
Yes, vacation. Actually be able to leave in the darkest part of the winter months when the sad syndrome steps in.
And why are they still in Juneau after all this time?
Yes.
They need to move down here to Anchorage where they can be with the people, not up there spending all that money up there, traveling to and from and having all these secret meetings.
That has been tried.
Why do they gotta have a secret meeting? To move the capital.
Equal Access Alaska. If you haven't gone to them, look them up. EqualAccessAlaska.com. Go find out where to sign it. They have links to everybody. Go to my page. You will find their posts up there. I make sure they are constantly being fed through my feeds. To click the link to the location that you're looking for. I even put Facebook links to the direct places so that you can find out their addresses and call them. We are looking for volunteers to step forward all over the state to host the Equal Access. Same with the full PFD Permanent Fund. If you haven't signed the We Support Governor Dunleavy and the policies he's doing, I suggest come down and do it. They got it right now in the back of the crowd that you see and standing here in front of me. come support our governor. We want a full PFD. He is fighting hard for it, but he can't appropriate the money. He cannot set the statutory amount that it wants to be. He can only say follow the statutes. He has to rely on the law-breaking legislators out there to approve the statutory PFD before he can sign it. Just like tomorrow, how many of you guys know that the education department for early education in K through 12 is going to be in front of our court system tomorrow to discuss the budget that they have yet still to fund? Now, can our governor go and appropriate that money to pay them? No. They want to assume, because they passed HB 287 that is supposed to early fund education for us, that was supposed to be directly withdrawn from the earnings reserve account to save the pink slips from going out. What they failed to do was appropriate that money. Now that the law-breaking legislators failed to do their job, they're trying to usurp the system and use our court system to do their legislative job of where that money is supposed to be appropriated from, and tell our governor he has to do it. Completely going against Alaska's Constitution. Our governor cannot appropriate money. So where are we at now? We're here in front of the Anchorage LIO office right now. You can see the crowd. I mean, this thing is growing larger and larger by the moment. Everybody here wants a full statutory PFD. We want to stop the theft, stop the extra POMV draw that they have on our permanent fund dividend. SB 26 never should have been signed into the law. Governor Walker should never have been able to steal our very first PFD like he did, using a basic term of an executive order, and just signed it away. Ever since then, our law-breaking legislators assumed that because he did it, what's stopping us from saying what the statutory amount's going to be? That's why we got $1,606 and they stole the other $1,300 of it. Come on, let's hear you all out there. I want to hear some sort of chanting.
Hands off the PFD! Hands off the PFD!
Hands off the PFD! Hands off the PFD!
Hands off the PFD! Hands off the PFD!
Hands off the PFD! Woo!
The PFD! Hands off the PFD!
All right, we got people from Fairbanks, Dillingham, Soldotna, Kenai, Homer. Nobody's announced Seward, but I'm sure they've come on. Oh, yeah, we got Seward here.
Willow.
We got Willow, Wasilla.
Big Lake.
Big Lake. Oh, here we go. Now, there's one that I had been missing. Let's see this. Step on out there. I think he has the best idea of what is going on out here today. Thou shalt not steal our PFD. As I always like to say, Facebook squeals on you if you don't share, so make sure you share this post. All Alaskans need to see Alaskans standing up for our rightful right to our full mineral rights. This is an awesome, awesome crowd. Unbelievable. I just can't believe how many people are out here. And even though I love to hear myself talk, anybody that's been following me long enough knows that I'm usually a very silent person. I don't say anything. I just usually film what I've been doing. This year, after what happened in Wasilla, I took the handcuffs off, took the gag out of my mouth, and said, you know what, it's time to start speaking up for our Alaskan rights, because it's obvious mainstream media is not out there doing it for us. How many of them in the mainstream media are going to give us a full, uncut version of what Senator Shelley Hughes had to say earlier today? We should get the right to vote on it, but they didn't even bring that up as an option in there. The discussion of allowing Alaskans to have a say in the matter never came up.
So, if you bring that up, we ought to start a petition to get it on the ballot.
We should. We need to get a petition going to get it on the ballot.
You know, that's about the best way to do it, is organize to get it put on the ballot. That's the next step.
That'd be great.
You know, it takes us to do it. And if we don't do anything, what's going to happen? They'll steal it from us. But if we can get it on the ballot, then the whole state can vote on it, and that'd be the best way to do it, in my opinion.
I'll talk to some people I know about
Yeah.
that.
We're going to bring it up here.
I'm going to give a little high view here, everybody. We are here at the Anchorage LIO office supporting a full statutory PFD, stop the theft, stop the POMV draw that they have recreated for us all. The models that they gave today inside of the building showed nothing more than government's growth growing, not cutting the budget, stealing more of the PFD. By 2024, they will spend completely, get rid of their CBR.
What's your name?
I am Politidick.
Who?
I am Politidick.
Oh, really?
Okay, I follow you.
Politidick?
I am Politidick. For anybody that doesn't know me, that is my alias. That is who I go by. I am Politidick.
Is it Politidick?
Politidick, yes.
Okay.
And
Love it.
I have become the actual thorn in our legislator's side. They all know who I am now. The ones that don't know who I am, they're always shocked to find out. And usually because I have said something that may not have been as flattering as they would have preferred.
How many times is the Facebook?
I have been banned 3 times off of Facebook. I have received my first 2 violations this week.
Keep up the good work.
Yes. And the sad part was the violations was over climate change because of inaccurate videos that I shared. They weren't fake videos. They weren't fake news. They just inaccurately portrayed maybe a 5-minute part of their video, and that's why I've got myself brand new violations on my Facebook page. In fact, if you happen to see the post, you will find that I have gone back, reflected the violations that they gave me, put links to all of their resource information of how they want to debunk it, calling people climate change deniers. I don't deny that climate change is happening. I just deny that humans are the sole source cause of it all.
Did you see someone was posting on there today the 1979 video with Leonard Nimoy saying the globe is cool.
The world is cooling, yes. These are 3 very active recall efforts that are going on out there right now. And you know, there should be one group out here, and I don't think you see a single person that has one of those shirts on or one of those signs. But where is Save Our State? Shouldn't Save Our State be here today? They want to make sure that all Alaskans do not suffer, but they don't support a full PFD. They want to cause the biggest, largest economical harm to Alaskans, but they're not here supporting the stopping of the theft.
Okay, on the committee, there were 8. There were 3 were pro and 5 were...
Correct.
Okay, now what did those 3 have to say during the committee hearing?
During the committee hearing, we only really got to hear from 2. I don't know if you want to call Stedman as a staunch PFD supporter, but he was the only one that was bringing up issues that questioned the models that they had for the PFD.
Yeah.
And Shelley Hughes was the other major supporter that was inside of the room. But as she has said more than once today, many Alaskans are not really happy for her right at the moment, because she is also talking about what share government should get of our PFD would be rightfully to be able to get. So our traditional 50-50 draw, their idea version of a 50-50 draw is that They take more for government, and whatever we get left with after government gets, then we split the rest of that down 50% between the both of us.
Hey, you're being watched on. My friends are watching you, and they said you got zucked. Mark Zuckerberg knocked you out of there. That it went down. She can't see it. Is it up yet?
And it's bouncing in and out of connection, so it should be back up and running right now.
Okay. You said it would be up and running.
You can blame the piss poor connections here in the state of Alaska being able to keep reception.
She's one of your biggest fans, Lori Fancher. You know her?
I know the name, yes.
Me, Lori, and
Scary enough, you throw me your name out there as a follower, I'll guarantee I know who you are. I have 1,400 people that are currently following my page out there. 1,300 plus have liked our page. We are growing rapidly. Facebook is definitely making waves out there. We have gained haters. There is not a single conservative post out there right now that does not get told to be hidden. I didn't start seeing that until about 6 months ago, and it really became active for the haters out there trying to hide posts when I started filming the sessions in Wasilla. For some reason, they didn't want the sessions being filmed. They wanted to have those scrubbed from the internet. I don't know why that is, but they did their best to try to make that happen. The only times I've ever been banned, one was for satire, 100% satire. It was even posted on a satire video. And recently my violations became because of opinions of other people's opinions on what climate change really is. It depends on whose opinion you want to listen to on whether or not what I posted was correct or what I posted was incorrect. In one of the videos I posted since 2017, and here we are in the middle of 2019, and they're now calling it fake or false news. Yet, here's an interesting fact. Mendenhall Glacier keeps melting away. What did they find underneath the glacier? Trees! Trees rooted underneath the glacier. Can you guess how old those trees are? 10,000 years. Nope. Less. Mendenhall Glacier that's melting rapidly. It's a sure sign of our climate change happening in Alaska. The destruction, it's melting. God help us all. How many years has it been since those trees got covered? How much? 500. 500 years, a little higher.
800.
Oh, you almost got it. 1,000 years, that's right. The trees underneath Mendenhall Glacier that are now appearing, there was an old growth forest underneath there that's only 1,000 years old. But we're supposed to believe that Alaska is in this catastrophic meltdown. It's never been this hot before. They've also discovered trees that are showing up underneath this old growth underneath Mendenhall Glacier that currently can't be found anywhere but 1,000 kilometers further south because Alaska supposedly isn't supposed to be warm enough to grow that species of tree. Riddle me, why is that? But we're not here to talk about climate change. We're here about the full statutory PFD. I am still amazed it is Monday, a work day, and these many people were able to find time off of their busy work schedule to be here today.
Show us the money.
Yes, show us our money. I mean, if you take what they've stolen from all of us these last 5 years, we got to really count since the beginning of the first theft all the way up to currently. They owe us $5,100 to every single Alaskan right now. That is how much they have stolen from every single baby, child, woman, man in the state of Alaska.
Public servants.
Not just the public servants, but the servants that are serving the public servants. There's a reason why NEA and Save Our State and Recall Dunleavy and Alaska AFL-CIO are out on their high horses on a daily basis telling government to keep the spending going because they know by tapping into the PFD they have an unlimited unlimited money supply to keep their six-figure salaries well funded. Got to stop the theft. Budget needs to be brought down. Who doesn't agree with cutting the budget? Looking. I'm still looking. Not a single person out there agrees with not cutting the budget.
Like they do.
Oh man, we all wish. Imagine our households taking a budget, keep spending beyond our means. You know, we run out of money here. Let's go get another credit card. Let's rack that one up. Oh, that one ran out of money. Let's go steal another credit card, rack that one up. Now we're billions in debt. They complain they have no money to pay anybody. They still owe $1 billion in cash to the small oil companies. They owe $10 billion to the Peers and Tiers accounts, which are underfunded at this point in time. $10 billion. If you had been paying attention to me long enough, you heard earlier I said Parnell gave $3 billion to offset what was owed to Peers and Tiers back in 2014 as his last maneuver leaving office. Did it do any good? Have they, since Walker took over, put 1 penny into the Peers and Tiers account to try to offset that balance? No. So between oil that they owe, between the Peers and Tiers to the government accounts, that's a lot. They're going to steal it, yes. They are. They're in the process of doing that right now.
They've been in that process for a long time. About 30 years.
Hey, out there in Facebook land, don't forget to share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't share. I'm not seeing shares on top of every one of your names.
Do you know if it was true also that they didn't take it out of your savings account? I heard it was more like a welfare check or something they wrote out to us because they didn't take it out of the savings so to keep gaining interest.
So basically what they did is they gave us $1,600 this year. And we're just going to use this year as an example because this is going to set precedents for all future PFDs. We got $1,606 from our permanent fund dividend this year. $1,300 of that came from the earning reserve account. That is, and the other $300 of our permanent fund account came from the SBR, CBR, any other personal budget account that they could think of. This is not what the statutory formula says they are supposed to do. Not a single penny of that is supposed to come from anywhere else but the ERA. By them taking that extra $300 that they added to the PFD from these different accounts, next year they're going to come back and say that our PFD is no longer a statutory PFD to be paid from the ERA. Look what we did. We paid you your PFD from the budget. It's now a budget item. Guess what? By making it a budget item, they're going to come back and say, hey, look at the tax revenue we collected this year. There's no money inside that tax revenue to pay you even 1 penny of the statutory PFD. Ignore the $66 billion. At this time next year, it'll be $70 billion sitting inside of our corpus and the ERA account. And they're going to say, oh, just ignore that money sitting there. Your money comes from the permanent fund. Dividend doesn't exist anymore. It now comes all from the budget that we pay our bills to all the special interests out there. Hence, next year, which is what the discussions were about today, changing the way the formula works so that government gets a larger share. They're talking about 65% to them, 35% to us, instead of 50-50 like it's always been. They're looking at, oh, maybe that's not going to be a good enough formula. Let's do 25% to Alaskans. We're going to take the other 75%. Well, that's what they were discussing today. That's what they want to do to us. I agree with you. No! No! Yes, no. You can't steal our PFD.
We need to put it in the Constitution and move our capital to Anchorage.
We need to get Alaskans to become special interests. All of us. We are the only important special interests in the entire state, and our voices are being ignored.
So how about we get everybody to walk around front once?
Because it is about us, you guys, and everybody needs
You guys
to
want to do? Okay, because it's trying to get some exposure on the front.
Sorry about that, folks. We completely lost connection. We are live back again. I've rechanged with the source of where I'm getting it from, and we should say strong and steady now.
There's a recall on her.
Hey,
Do you guys want to march around the building?
I think we should.
Yeah, let's watch around, get everybody go around to us.
3 or 4 yards.
Guys want it?
Yes, let's do it. Go this way instead. I'm
All right, spread it out. Spread it out.
Spread it out a little bit.
Should go out front. We should go out there where the traffic is.
Spread it out. The longer the line, the better. It's going to be long anyway. Well, they can.
Hey, don't forget to share. My last broadcast got cut off. We are still live here. The other one is uploading. If you can't access it right now, join this one. Don't forget to share. Full statutory PFD. PFD today. Come on down. We're at the Anchorage LIO office, 1500 West Benson Boulevard. We will be here until 2 o'clock today, if not longer. It is amazing how many people have taken their Monday afternoon off to be down here today. This is what real Alaskans look like when they fight for their rights, not the special interests. We are here for all Alaskans. Every last one of us benefit from a full PFD. This isn't just the individuals. This is just not for the single person, single entity, or single group. This is for all Alaskans. Whatever you want. Don't forget to share. We are live down here at the Anchorage LIO office. We are lined up around the streets. We've got close to 50 to 100 people somewhere in there that have shown up. More are showing up all the time. If you have your own lunch hour, you're in the area, come on down and support the full PFD. This is what real Alaskans look like when they fight for the rights of all Alaskans, not just the minority special interests.
You thought those were apples, and I go, no, crab apples.
We are here at the Anchorage LIO. Look at all these people. Woo!
yes to the PFD! They are lined up from end to end here at the LIO office. It is just unbelievable how many people have taken their Monday off to be down here supporting a full PFD for all Alaskans. These are not the minority special interests. They should. They're lined up from end to end on both sides. Woo! Thank you. They're phony baloney versions of the future of the PFD. Ages, all walks of life. The PFD is not discriminatory towards anyone. Unless you're a law-breaking legislator. Woo! Look at them, they are lined up from end to end around here today. Real Alaskans standing up for all Alaskans. Follow the laws.
Hey, when I get those tapes out from Lazy Mountain Gym, I'll get a hold of you on Facebook.
To do it, and when she got up there, they were trying to ask her some questions.
Woo!
The crowd keeps growing larger and larger as I keep standing here. It's amazing how many people are showing up here today. It just keeps spreading out and getting, soon we'll have the entire building surrounded. See if I can catch them all the way around. We are everywhere down here fighting for our rights for a full PFD. Do not forget to share. Alaskans fighting for all Alaskans' rights. Alaskans look like when they fight for their rights.
No, but I'll get some of
Somebody's
both.
wearing one. There's a few of them out here, but I don't have any more with me that I can.
No more hats with you, mean?
I gotta order more. But they may not be the right size.
Watch this for a little bit.
Where are you going?
I need to go grab a charger.
Oh, I
It'll
thought maybe you had to go.
No, it's gonna die if I don't do something.
So what do you want me to do?
You can swing it around. This collapses up. You can hold
I'll
it. You
just
can do whatever
do it like
you want
this.
to do.
There's somebody.
Is that thing on?
It's on. Are you gonna talk?
Absolutely.
Okay, Nick, talk.
I can make this as
Scoot up a little bit. Scoot back just a little. Okay, there you go.
I can make this as simple as possible. The law says this is your money, not the government's money. Would you sit there and say, well, I guess it's okay if somebody kicked your door in who took $1,400 from every person in your household? There's no difference between what they're doing and that. And if you're willing to sit there and say, I guess it's okay, you deserve what you're going to get. Eventually it'll be nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Anybody else want to talk?
Raiders? Somebody. The Raiders are on the inside, stealing our money.
Have been distributed, but the debate over the dividend amount is hardly over. Today, a protest in Midtown in support of nearly $3,000 dividend, almost double the amount that hit many Alaskans' bank accounts.
What we're looking for is a constitutional amendment that enshrines the PFD and ensures the people's 50-50 split with of the resource with the government.
Protesters are calling legislators to restore the full dividend. This would require lawmakers to take part in a third special session. And while some support the larger dollar amount, others have been steadfast in their beliefs that an additional dividend would be unsustainable. And that demonstration in response to a PFD working group meeting at the Anchorage Legislative Information Office this afternoon. Lawmakers left grappling with some very unfriendly math, as a bigger dividend means less money to dedicate to government operations and the possibility of persistent deficits. Still, some in the legislature, such as Governor Mike Dunleavy, maintain that the answer is to cut spending in order to make a full PFD possible. And we are told the working group will likely prepare a white paper with a few different scenarios, and in the meantime, the governor has asked for a special session to debate paying the rest of the PFD.
Did Alaska reach a compromise in one of our most divisive debates, the calculation of the permanent fund dividend? As KTVA 11's Daniela Rivera reports, there was talk about compromise at Anchorage's Legislative Information Office today. There was also a protest. Daniela.
Well, that's right. Today, the legislature's Permanent Fund Working Group met to discuss different possible scenarios for the fund and the future of the dividend. No big decisions were made at today's meeting. It was more about looking at the options and sharing that information with the public. One side wants the full PFD using the calculation in statute, something Alaskans haven't seen for the last 4 years. The other side wants to change the formula, and somewhere in the middle, lawmakers we spoke with believe there is a compromise. Senator Shelley Hughes, who has supported the historical calculation, says she's now willing to accept a smaller draw to preserve the fund as long as at least 50% of it goes to Alaskans.
We'll see if anybody else comes off their high horse in the other camp, and we might get to see some movement if that happens. If no one else is willing to step out, then we'll see what happens.
Now, as the meeting was underway, as you can see there, protesters started to gather outside. The group is called Permanent Fund Defenders. Members are protesting cuts to the PFD over the last 4 years, and they say they're against any change to the PFD formula without a public vote.
We need to take more control of our government. Right now, there's 60 people making decisions for 700,000 people, and it's not the way it was intended to be. Our Constitution says by the people and for the people. By the people means you show up and you tell them that you're not happy with what they're doing, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
Last week, Alaskans started receiving a $1,600 dividend payment. Under the statutory calculation, that would have been around $2,900. Governor Dunleavy said that he wanted to provide a supplemental payment through a special session, but with each day that goes by, we're approaching the holidays, that is seeming less likely to happen. Joe.
Right, Daniela, thank you.